Come on, baby, come on, baby, come on, baby, come on, baby. Yeah! I've got no error codes. I am so excited. On the battery box it says to never touch it, but they're just begging people to touch it. They make it crazy expensive to go to a dealer. I mean, just crazy. Crazy, crazy. And it really wasn't that hard. This is my 2005 Toyota Prius. Bought it about a month ago. The guy that sold it to me, he's a really nice guy. I actually don't think he was being dishonest with me, but he told me the battery would last forever. About 3 weeks later, we got a symbol that said our battery would not last forever. In fact, it was already dead. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rebuild my battery. And the first thing you want to do is just basically take out everything that's carpeted back here. If you've ever worked on your 12-volt battery, you get in over here on the right and you disconnect that. But yeah, I'm going to have to take off all of this siding. This part is pretty easy and straightforward. You probably don't need to watch someone do all this, but I'm going to take you through step by step everything that I do. I've never done this before, but I have seen YouTube videos. And I'm going to make another one because I had to watch a bunch of YouTube videos and piece together what they were all doing to get the whole process figured out. And I figured it'd be good if you had someone show you everything from start to finish, because I'm not just replacing the box. I got 28 new cells, and I'm replacing all of the cells, modules inside my battery pack. So that'll be fun and interesting. Don't want to get zapped. My main goal today is to not get electrocuted. Right now I'm just removing the negative connector to my 12-volt battery here with a 10mm little wrench. That came off really easy and nice. My goal is to get this done as quickly and as safely as I can so we can get my family back on the road. And when I say back on the road, I mean this car never actually died on us. It goes into limp mode regularly though, which is not fun, where it kicks over to the internal combustion engine, and if your battery's dead, you know what I'm talking about. We actually drove about 1,000 miles after our battery alarm went off and told us our battery was dead. So that's kudos to Toyota for making a car that can die and still get you where you need to go. So okay, I've disconnected the 12-volt battery, and actually I replaced this battery last week. I had heard that sometimes you can get a false positive on the code reader that you need to replace your hybrid battery, but in fact it's your 12-volt battery that's messing everything up. So I replaced that because that was only $180 or so, and I figured it was worth the gamble. And actually the code went off once I replaced that. For 2 hours, we drove over 100 miles, and then we were driving up a mountain, and the code went on again, and we eventually went into limp mode. At one point, we were going 27 miles per hour on the freeway. That was a little terrifying. But in any case, got this replaced. Hopefully that will last another 5 to 8 years or so. We'll see. And I figure it's nice to have a new one of these when I'm putting in a new hybrid battery, so that whatever might have been wrong with my old 12-volt battery won't damage my new hybrid battery, which is a lot more expensive. I've disconnected my 12-volt battery, both the negative and positive. Did the negative first, then I did the positive. I unplugged this little white guy from in here, whatever that is, some kind of computer box thingy-bopper. So those are good. The next thing I'm going to do is a safety measure. These are high voltage batteries, right? And so there's this orange thing right under here. I'm going to lift that up and I'm going to take that out. Okay, so there's a little loop on the top. Finger in, pull it up, and then kind of wrestle it out. Now this is out of the car, out of the battery, and so I have a lot less chance of getting zapped at this point. I'll explain more when we take the battery apart where I could have gotten completely roasted. And I mean, I could have gotten roasted all around, I guess, but you gotta take this baby out. It's kind of like a safety precaution. Make sure that doesn't go back in until you're done working with your battery. 10mm nut there and there I'm gonna take off. I'm basically just gonna attack from the things that are exposed and work my way down until I've got everything taken apart. Very common sense. Don't think it takes much explanation. I don't think everything's 10mm, some 11, some 12, from what I understand. So you'll want tools for all those. See this metal guy? That's the battery. Okay. So I took off. There are two 10mm bolts there in the back. I'm gonna move these seats down. Better look at what's going on. Okay, it looks like those are all attached. There, the carpet's attached, so I'm just gonna flop that up. Looks like this is just Velcroed on. So now we got that out. I've got these plastic baggies to put the different types of nuts together. So these are the 10mm that go with this guy. Make sure I keep them together. You just kind of yank on the seat. That's actually kind of funny how easy it is to get that up. Ooh, some presents in there. Gonna get to clean that up. Wow, actually that's amazing. It appears and I'm caught on something. Oh, yeah, there's just a little metal hook there that was lipped in. So I just unhooked that. Yeah, no screws or anything for this seat. It's good. I can shake it off, vacuum it out, see what other hidden treasures are in there. Looks like an animal cracker from one of my kids. I got a 14mm on here, and I'm going to take off all these back cushions. It looks like there's some seatbelt hooks that I'm going to probably want to, I could probably leave those on. But there is, that's not 14. There are these hooks here. Those look like more like 10. Yep. So there's one on each side. We'll see if that will do the trick to get this back seat part off. Maybe it won't. So the place I ordered my replacement batteries from said they have techs that can do this whole process, getting everything out and put back together, taking the whole battery apart, replacing all the cells in just 45 minutes, which is impressive considering the dealer told me it would take a couple days. Okay, so I'm just getting this second 10mm nut off. Sorry if my camera's out of frame. Off this nut here. And I'm taking off this nut over here. Yeah, right there. And we'll see if that does the trick. I think I'm gonna have to take some nuts off the back. I'm gonna keep those nuts together. Okay, it looks like all I had to do was that one to get this side thing off here, which will help me get this panel off. Okay, I'm gonna get this other side off really quick as well. This, by the way, is the fan that's been blowing like crazy since our battery died to cool the battery. I guess it's a safety measure. Pretty cool. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna do is take out these 14mm. Oh! Wow, that was tight. But nothing I can't handle. And you probably can't handle. Okay, so these were all exposed. Looks like there's 4 of them. If I take them all out, I should be able to get these puppies off. That's what I'm hoping. So I'm just gonna go down the line take out all 4 of those. So I just got the second one out, and you can see that the chair just like popped out. Woo! Nice. See, now I'll be able to get to these nuts on the back of the battery to get the battery out. Booyah! So I got the last 2 of those puppies out, and this just popped right off. Awesome. Okay, now let's get more of this upholstery backing off. It looks like there is, it's a nicely labeled 10mm in there. It has a little 10 on it. I'm guessing that's a 10, that's a 10, and that's a 10 as well. So I'll bust those bad boys out and we'll figure out what to do next. Okay, now I popped out those 4 with the 10mm. And then pull off this wall here, but there's a light plugged in right there. Just gonna unplug that. Just gotta pull that light plug on the left and then get these out. Looks like the seats just slide really nicely out. From there. So we're getting really close in terms of taking this all apart. Oh yeah, this back one. It's coming off great. I actually don't know if I'll take the rest of this off, because if I don't have to get at the battery, then why not do it? You can see I've got those backs now folded and out of the way, so I can get at everything, I think, now to get the battery out. Ah, looks like someone's worked back here before that's loose. I didn't do that. Interesting, and it does say cell 10 is bad. Interesting. I don't know if they've replaced that before, but yeah, I'm going to be replacing all the cells today. Hopefully we'll go okay. It was a lot cheaper to buy a bunch of replacement, nice, hopefully tested cells than to get the dealer to just swap out the whole battery for $3,400. Okay, so I'm just going to start going at all these exposed. Looks like a bunch of 11s. And we'll just see what it takes to get this battery out. It's all common sense from here. I've already pulled that orange safety thing. So I think I'm going to take this part off next and unplug the computer and everything. Then I'll get the whole battery out, but we're making good time. So I lied, these are each, even though they say 11, they're 12mm. You probably figured that out on your own now. So I'm going to take those all off now. So the 11 must be a step instruction or something like that, which is encouraging because we just took out the 10 and now we're working on 11, so maybe we're not doing this entirely wrong. But yeah, oh man, fingers crossed can figure this out and get this done in just a couple hours, save myself a few $1,000s. Woo! Not get electrocuted in the process. I don't actually have a will or a trust set up, which not a bad idea to have. Oh, these are coming out easy. This is really like working on a computer. Okay, so I got out all those number 11s. I'm gonna go on these there's some brass ones now. I think those are 11s too. Yep, I'm gonna take out all of those. Oh, you know what? I actually kept a couple 11s in. So over here on the left side where the camera's at, there's a couple 11s. I didn't take those out just in case I can sneak the battery out without taking that whole vent contraption apart. I'm going to want to try to clean in there just in case there's stuff gunking up the fan. But, you know, the least work I have to do, the better. So it's worth a shot. So I got all the 11s and all the brassy bolts off. Once I broke the initial grip, I could actually get them out with my fingers, which was nice and quick. So I'm taking off this shield thing here. I'm gonna put that aside. Okay. Now, looks like this is still on with some small nuts over here. So I'm gonna take those nuts out. And then I'm going to be able, once I get these 2 nuts out, I'll be able to get this whole shield off and be exposed to what would have been probably the most dangerous part of the battery here had I not taken out that little orange safety plastic thing over here when I started. So I'm going to take out these guys and then I'll pull this up. Got off these 2 10mm nuts They were actually on pretty tight. Hardest part of the project so far is just popping those off. Now I've got the shield off. Okay, so let's look inside here. You can tell this is where all the power goes to the car. All right, and so had I not disconnected this orange thing, this thing would be super power charged there, and I could get zapped hardcore. So yeah, glad I did that. Took out that orange thing, so make sure you do that too. I'm gonna be unplugging those bad boys. Looks like the easiest way to do that is to take off these nuts here and then pull those out. So again, make sure you do not try to do this until you've gotten this orange guy out. There's that plastic thing I pulled out at the beginning. Go back and watch that if you missed that. Don't want anybody dying. These are 8mm nuts. I'm gonna take those out. I put on some gloves. Maybe a little paranoid about electricity, but also there's a lot of sharp edges here. I'd rather not get stitches today. This is a general goal when you're working on this battery. I think you want to touch as small a surface area as possible so that the likelihood of you getting zapped goes way down. So I'm gonna bust out these two 8mm. Okay, so those actually came out really easy, so I'm just taking that off. Woo! I'm gonna disconnect these cords here. So I'm not gonna rip any of these cords when I try to take the battery box out. So I'm just gonna take all those guys out. So all three of these guys came out, no problem. Just be super gentle. You don't want to accidentally tear a wire. Just gonna pull out this little vent thing here. Looks like that pops out, no problem. Looks pretty good in there. Probably hard to see with the lighting, but it's clear. There's a little plastic thing right there holding me down. And I get a screwdriver, flathead. Just pop that up. They tried to make this process tricky, I tell you. Almost as tricky as reprogramming a key fob, which was a lot of fun. Man, if you haven't done that yet, you should look up the process. You do this dance, you're like hitting the power button on and off, you close and shut the door a million times, and voila, you programmed a new key fob. A lot cheaper than going to a dealer, but you feel a little silly doing the dance. I think the resistance I'm feeling at this point is just how that's kind of pushed down, and that kind of pushes it down too. But if I can just pull it up a little and slide it out, I think I'll be able to get this out. I think I'm gonna straddle it. Trying to figure out, is it really just that heavy, or did I miss a nut? Oh, one side's coming out fine. Oh yeah! Okay, this guy's free. He's free. I'm pretty stoked. Alright, so now to lift this heavy boy out of the car. Yeah, flip-flops. Don't know what I was thinking. Got this out of the car. Wasn't too bad, just heavy. So I just had to kind of wiggle it here. And I'll probably throw a vacuum hose in there and just make sure there's nothing there. Make sure that we're fully connected so we can vent that battery. But yeah, look at that. That wasn't bad. That was not bad. I mean, that's where the power was. Here's the computer stuff. Just unplug that, and then a few nuts later. I know I'm not completely nuts, but it's out. So now to take this apart. I'm gonna take a little bit different approach than I've seen anybody do. Before I take off this case, I'm actually going to turn it upside down, and I'm going to take out all the screws holding all of the cells modules in, because I figured that would be easier than reaching under. And there's a bar that goes across the top, and they're all kind of compressed together. I'll be gentle with it. They shouldn't go anywhere once those nuts are out. They should all hold until I flip it over and then take off the top part. But I figure if I do that now, then I'll do the reverse. Once I get it back together, I'll have a much faster time because I'm replacing all the cells. Okay, so I'm going to flip this over gently, and I'm going to go get a drill. Put it upside down, did that really gently. And these are all 8mm nuts or just Phillips. So I'm going to just loosen them really quick with a socket wrench, and then I'll zap these all out with the drill, and then I'll flip it over without taking it apart. I'm just getting these all out. So I've gotten out all 28 of those bad boys. There were 14 on each side. Put them in a nice little bag. I'm going to flip this back over and now take the cover off. So I got it flipped back over, and now I'm going to take out a bunch of 10mm bolts, a couple 10mm nuts. Let's see, one there too. See if I can get this case off. Took out 6 bolts or so and 2 nuts, and now I'm going to just see if I can get this case off here. Let's see how that goes. Maybe I missed something. Find out. Aha! Oh yeah! Nice. Oh, interesting. And they've got that. Okay, so you can see positive, negative, and on down the line. And over there too. I'm going to be really careful because these are all in an array, right? And so the further you get down the line, the more powerful they are. So you don't want to touch multiple ends at the same time. Just touch one little spot at a time. And take off this plastic shield, and I'm going to make sure I remove everything connecting this part of the array and on the other side as well. So I'm going to take off the orange thing next so that none of these batteries are actually connected in any meaningful power kind of way, and that will make the rest of this project much safer. So there's a lot of these little nuts here. I'm going to go just like nuts on all these nuts. That was way fun. 56 nuts. 28 on each side, and now these batteries aren't connected in any meaningful electronic way, so they're not adding up in power, their forces are not combining. So this is substantially safer to work with now. Now I've just got to, I'll pull up all these vents here down the line. They're just rubber. Well, the tube's rubber and they're plastic vents. And set that aside. Alright. So now we're good that way. Now I just need to take off these bolts here, which could take some oomph. And it's interesting, there's no nuts here, but that's okay, I guess it is what it is. So I'll take off these bolts, and then I'll just slide out all of these, and then I'll slide in my new ones. Now I want to remember that the one in the corner here that goes out to all the orange stuff is positive, and then I'm going to alternate all the way down. So I'm going to start negative over here and just go 1 to 28 up on up and stop positive in the corner. It's got these 4 12mm bolts out. Pretty easy. And I'm going to slide this up so I can get at the cells. Again, I'm going positive negative, well, negative, positive, all the way up, and I'm ending positive at the end, at the side where the orange cables are going into the computer. Okay, so I'm gonna just try to get this up gently without making a mess. Alright. Okay, now, if I remember, yep, there's a little wire down here I just want to disconnect on this first one that goes across. See that? That little wire off on the bottom, and make sure you put that on at the end. So I'm just gonna slide these all out and stack them neatly. So this is actually all going a lot easier than I expected. I thought this was going to be crazy. I thought I was going to get electrocuted. I thought I could die. I mean, I could have died if I was a doofus, but I watched enough YouTube videos to understand how to avoid that, and said enough prayers, you know. Anyways, it's interesting because as I was looking online of how to do this best, shopping around, I found a place that would ship to AutoZone new batteries. But AutoZone said I couldn't do it unless I was a professional shop. They wouldn't give it to me. Alright, this one here, it looks like cell number 14 has a little black wire on it. So I'm going to take that off really quick. Interrupt my story time. But yeah, AutoZone said it was too dangerous to let a normal person do, and so they wouldn't even let you order it there, even though AutoZone's a do-it-yourselfer place. So I thought that was funny and interesting. Also a little terrifying, but I mean, talking to some auto places that do hybrid repair, they said there's just a lot of stigma and fear, and I think there's a worry about liability if someone did do something stupid, and all of a sudden you've got a wrongful death case on your hands. So anyways, looks like we're going to be successful today in a lot less time than I was planning on this taking. So I'll get some of my Saturday back, which is awesome. And all the new cells that I got, they're not brand new, but they're supposed to be tested and elite, not just good or functional cells. So they have a year warranty, and it was only $1,100, which I thought was a good deal. I could have bought, I guess, 1 or 2 or 3 cells on eBay and tried to figure out which of these cells was the weakest, but I'd rather not do this big process every year or two. I'd rather just do this once and be done for hopefully a while. And so I'm just gonna replace them all, and yeah, hopefully this car will work a lot better. It's been a great car, with the exception of this battery issue. Okay, this last one, I just want to make sure I do right. There might be, yeah, there's another, I guessed it right. There's another wire down here, blue one. So blue, black, white. And just make sure you pop those all off. You don't want to rip those. Okay. So now I've got all of my cells out. I'm just going to go get all the new ones and then reverse the process and put it all back together. You're probably good at this point figuring it all out on your own, but I'm going to just maybe show a little bit more video here and there. Here are the cells that I ordered. Got them from Electron Automotive. They don't know I'm doing this video. They seem to be the best deal I could find. Seemed credible. Maybe there's better deals out there, but they're really nice. They even offered to ship me all the tools I would need. I didn't realize the tools would be so simple. Basically a socket set and a wrench. well, not a wrench, but, well, yeah, a little wrench I used for the 12-volt battery. Flathead screwdriver at one point. Anyways, just like super standard tools pretty much everybody has. And so, yeah, I'm gonna piece this all together. Now I'm just putting the new ones in. I remembered to put the positive in the corner there, and then to hook up the black, or sorry, not the black, but the color, I can't remember whatever color it was, maybe blue, that was right here on the bottom of there. And once I get to the 14th one, I'll hook up this black one, and then I'll do the last one with the white. But I'm just fitting them in nice and snug. They kind of grip together, and you see that they should be just right over those screw holes there. So, okay, I'm just gonna pop in the rest of these guys, just sliding them in. Yeah, all in all, this whole project is a lot easier than I thought. It takes time because there's just so many dang nuts and bolts, but totally worth it if you got a Saturday and you don't want to pay $1 million for a new hybrid battery. So some of these, when they ship, they got some styrofoam stuck in the hole. So I've got to number 14 here, and I just made sure I hooked up that black wire. You can see that you know, these alternate negative, positive all the way across. You've also got these little indicators. They should go boom, 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 like that. Alright, so I got them all in the right order. Negative, positive, all on up to my final positive. Got the zigzaggy. I clipped this back on. This had come off. And I made sure to clip the wires underneath, with the exception of the last one here, which I'll do with you real quick. If I can get my camera not to fall over. There we go. Oh, where'd it go? There it is. Okay, so you can, it's pretty straightforward how it clips in. Just right there. I'm going to compress them together, and I'm going to lift at the same time and just push it up and over. Like that. Oh yeah! Once it's over there, I can pull it that final millimeter, maybe by just tightening these guys. So I'm going to try that nice little trick. Okay, let's get these vents back on. So I just realized a slight problem. Still be able to get the car on the road today, just won't take it on any big trips till I fix this, because I don't want the batteries overheating. So you got these vent tubes, right? And you want these vent tubes with their little white stoppers over on the computer side, all plugged in. And I didn't notice this when I was taking it apart, but there is a piece over here missing. There's a white tube that connects these two with a little out that connects to a black tube in your car that serves as an additional vent. Whoever worked on this battery before and swapped out a bad cell or something a couple years ago did not take care of this. They must have just lost it. So that's a bummer. There's a little bit of corrosion you can see there. I'm going to clean it up with some baking soda and a toothbrush, and then I'll dry it up, make sure it's really dry, and then I'll put it all back on. Now I'm going to put these bus bars back on, and then it's going to start getting more dangerous again. So I'll put on this side first, then I'll go to the other side. After I get those all screwed on, I'll put the case top back on, flip it upside down, and then do everything on the bottom. Now I gotta put on all of these. Oh joy. Did all those by hand in about 5 minutes. I'm probably slow, but just for fun, for all their sanity's sake, to take away some of the monotony of it, go ahead and try to race me, see if you can do this faster than 5 minutes, all those screws. All those nuts. I'm gonna go on the other side and see if I can beat my 5-minute record. Wish me luck. So this side I did in 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Booyah. Although I think it's a low bar. I hope you guys will beat that if you're doing it by hand like I did, because I took a call during that time, but I was hauling. Whew. So I shaved 30 seconds off of the boredom. Great. That thing just snaps on nice and slick. Like so. You can do it one-handed. So I'm sure you can do it. A little dirty though. And just like that. We're almost completely back in business. Just slide it in like that. Pretty sweet. Got it all put back together. The drill helped me zap the bottom things in. I flipped it upside down again. Everything seemed to hold into place and the holes matched up great. So that worked. I think that saved me some time. Now I gotta lift it back into this beautiful gutted car. Oh my goodness, what a mess. You think they could have made it a little easier, huh? Tell you what, lifting that bad boy back in is not for the faint of heart. That is heavy and awkward, and I'm really glad I had my gloves because I think I would have sliced up my hand pretty good had I not. Okay, so as I put these nuts back on, I'm just gonna hold it carefully with my hand because I do not want to lose that nut down there and have to fish it out. Just getting it started, and then I'll do the other one. I've learned from frustrating experiences to be really careful with that kind of thing. Okay, I'll just tighten those guys up. Small to the small, medium to medium, big to the big. Pretty easy. Alright. A mistake, I put in these nuts before I put the shield on. It's a problem. Gotta take those off real quick. No big deal. Those are 10 millimeters. Just zap those out, and then I'll put this on. There we go. Okay. So you can see it's on that track there. So I push this down. I reconnect everything over here real quick. Then I'm gonna see if the car starts up, fingers crossed. All of them. Good feeling. I'm gonna get this thing on with no error codes. Come on, baby, come on, baby, come on, baby, come on, baby. Yeah! I've got no error codes. All right, I am so excited that that all worked out. It's amazing. It took a few hours, but I saved thousands of dollars. It's interesting because on the battery box it says to never touch it, but they're just begging people to touch it. They make it crazy expensive to go to a dealer. I mean, just crazy. Crazy. And it really wasn't that hard. It was like working on a computer very carefully. Good luck, be safe, don't do anything dumb. Happy hybriding.